You can live for 70 years and never live one day of purpose. You can fill your life with activity and still be empty. Most people spend their whole life climbing the ladder of success only to realize when it's too late that the ladder was leaning on the wrong wall. The tragedy of life is not death. It is what we allow to die inside us while we are still alive. You were not born to pay bills and die. You were born to discover, dominate, and deposit something into the earth before you leave. Let me show you what most people learn too late. So you don't have to. 5K points. Purpose is more important than profit. Most people wake up every morning chasing a paycheck, chasing security, chasing what society has programmed them to believe is success. But purpose, real purpose, is not something you chase. It is something you discover. And when you discover it, you no longer live like everyone else. You no longer wake up trying to survive. You wake up on assignment. Most people only discover this in their 50s or 60s, after the promotions, after the cars, after the houses, after the applause has faded and the mirror no longer lies. That's when they sit down and whisper to themselves, there's got to be more than this. And the truth is, they're right. But by then, they've given decades of energy, time, and strength to things that had nothing to do with their destiny. You see, profit is about accumulation, money, fame, status, but purpose is about impact. And the danger is you can profit in areas you were never called to. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean it's your calling. There are people working in law firms, hospitals, studios, boardrooms, construction sites, and classrooms who are excellent, but empty because their talent took them where their purpose never sent them. They are well-paid prisoners, paid to live out a life that doesn't belong to them. It's like buying a Ferrari and using it to plow a field. Yes, it moves. Yes, it runs. But it's not operating in the reason for which it was designed. And sooner or later, damage begins to show, not because it's broken, but because it's misused. That's what happens when you choose profit over purpose. You shine on the outside, but you suffer on the inside. Let me ask you, what's the point of gaining the whole world and losing your soul in the process? What's the use of a 40 if you hate every Monday of your life? What's the use of a luxury car if you're crying behind the wheel, asking God, why do I feel so empty? Too many people ignore the call because they're distracted by the check. But here's the reality: when you find purpose, profit follows. When you walk in your assignment, provision is attracted to your position. Purpose is what makes a single mother wake up at 5 a.m. to pray over her children, go to work, come home tired, and still speak life into her house. That's not about money. That's about destiny. Purpose is what makes a teacher stay late after class for a student no one believes in. Purpose is what keeps a nurse on the night shift going, not because the pay is great, but because they know their touch matters in someone's healing. That's what real success looks like, living a life that matters, not just one that pays. You were not born just to hustle. You were not born just to grind. You were born to fulfill a kingdom assignment. You were sent here as a solution to a problem. And until you locate that problem, money will never satisfy you. The latest iPhone can't fix a broken soul. A corner office can't replace peace. The applause of man can never compete with the approval of God. Purpose is what wakes you up with passion and puts you to bed with peace. It is not found in the bank account. It's found in your obedience to your original design. A bird doesn't go to flight school. It just flies because that's what it was built to do. A fish doesn't need swimming lessons. It just swims because that's its nature. And you too have something you were born to do so naturally, so authentically, so powerfully that the world takes notice, not because you're trying, but because you're aligned. Think about the people you admire most. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't chase profit. He pursued purpose. Mother Teresa didn't look for wealth. She followed compassion. Nelson Mandela didn't sell out. He stayed true to his vision. And the world remembers them, not because of what they had, but because of who they became. Some of the most miserable people on earth are the ones who have everything except a reason to live. They clock in, clock out, and slowly watch their spirit die in the routines of survival. But those who find their purpose, they are different. They are magnetic. They may not be rich in gold, but they are wealthy in vision. They may not live in mansions, but they walk in authority. They may not be loud, but their lives speak volumes. Purpose is the reason the seed pushes through soil to become a tree. It's why the eagle doesn't settle in a cage. It was born for the sky, and it's why you will never be satisfied until you live in the environment of your design. That's why promotions don't excite you anymore. That's why vacations feel like temporary escapes. That's why relationships that distract you start to lose their power. Because deep down, your soul is screaming for more. The grave is full of books never written, businesses never launched, ideas never developed, and songs never sung, all because someone chose the safety of a paycheck over the risk of purpose. But what if you're not too late? What if all that pain, all that frustration, all that restlessness was God's way of shaking you out of the cage? What if the discomfort was divine? What if the dissatisfaction was holy ground, an invitation to step out of the life you built and into the one you were born for? Time is the currency of destiny. People think the most valuable thing they have is money. But the truth is, money can be lost and made again. Time, once it's gone forever. Time is the most unforgiving currency on earth. It doesn't care how important you are, how wealthy you become, how many followers you have, or how many people clap for you. Every second that passes is a second you will never see again. And the greatest tragedy is that most people only realize this when it's too late, when their joints are stiff, their hair is gray, their energy is gone, and all they're left with is a heart full of regrets and a journal of missed opportunities. Let me tell you something powerful. You don't manage your life, you manage your time. Because your time is your life. Show me how someone spends their time, and I'll show you who they're becoming. You don't drift into greatness. You schedule it. You don't stumble into destiny. You discipline your minutes to create it. Every minute you waste on things that don't grow you, stretch you, or align with your vision is a minute you're stealing from your future. Think of a person with a dream to write a book. Every day they say, one day I'll write it. When I get more time, I'll start. Maybe after the holidays. But the holidays come, and the excuses stay. 5 years pass, 10, then one day they wake up and say, I wish I started back then. What they don't realize is that they were never waiting on time. Time was waiting on them. Destiny doesn't delay because of your comfort. It moves forward whether you're ready or not. The difference is those who value their time walk with it, while those who waste it are left behind. Time is the silent test that reveals your priorities. You say you want to grow spiritually, but how much time do you spend feeding your spirit? You say you want to start that business, but how much time do you spend researching, building, planning? You say you want healthier relationships, but how much time do you spend nurturing and communicating with those who matter most? You say you're called to lead, but how much time do you spend developing the leader in you? God has placed you on earth with a limited amount of time, not to waste it on meaningless distractions, gossip, scrolling through other people's highlight reels, or binging shows that add nothing to your soul. You weren't born to waste days, you were born to build legacies. And if you're not intentional with your time, someone else will be. They will steal your time for their goals, their drama, their insecurities, and their convenience. And you'll wake up one day realizing you gave away pieces of your life to people who didn't even value you. Time is like money with no refund policy. You can't rewind. You can't exchange it. You can't pause it. All you can do is decide how you'll spend it. That's why the wise live by calendars and vision boards. That's why the focus set alarms, block off creative time, and eliminate distractions. Because they know every tick of the clock is either building their future or destroying it. Have you ever seen a teenager waste hours playing video games, not knowing that the very hours they're losing could have been used to develop a skill, start a business, or build something eternal? Have you seen adults glued to toxic relationships for years, giving their best time to people who never deserved it? Time, when misused, doesn't just rob you, it cripples your future. Every great person who ever did something significant, whether in ministry, business, science, or art, had the same 24 hours you have. It's not about how much time you have, it's about what you do with the time you've been given. You can't tell me you're serious about purpose and yet careless with time. The two cannot coexist. Your destiny is time sensitive. There are people connected to your calling. There are generations waiting on your obedience. There are dreams assigned to your calendar. And every delay you create is a delay in someone else's breakthrough. It's not just about you. That's why wasting time is more dangerous than wasting money, because it's often tied to someone else's transformation. Look at the ant. It prepares in the summer for the winter. It works while others are playing. It stores up when others are relaxing. Why? Because it understands the seasons. You can't wait until winter to prepare. You must respect the time you're in. Some of you are in your preparation season, but you're acting like it's playtime. Some of you are in your building season, but you're treating it like it's party season. Misreading your season will make you miss your destiny. Even in the Bible, God never blessed laziness. Every miracle he performed required a movement. He told the man with the withered hand to stretch it out. He told the blind man to go wash in the pool. He told the disciples to cast their nets. Movement matters. Action matters. Time plus action equals progress, but time without action equals regret. Let me tell you the truth, every day you waste doing nothing is another day the enemy gains ground in your territory. Every minute you procrastinate is another minute your purpose remains dormant. This is why successful people guard their time like a treasure, because they know that wasted time is a thief of dreams, joy, relationships, and calling. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You need to stop treating time like it's unlimited. You need to stop waiting for the perfect moment and realize that your moment is made perfect by movement. You will never feel fully ready. You will never feel fully equipped. But time doesn't wait for your feelings. It waits for your faith. Relationships are investments, not entertainment. Relationships are not toys for your amusement. They are assignments for your development. In this life, people come into your circle for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, but most people never take the time to discern the difference. They treat every person like they're replaceable, every relationship like it's disposable, and every commitment like it's negotiable. And the tragedy is, they often realize too late that they were playing with gold while searching for glitter. Let me tell you something that will change how you view the people in your life, relationships, or investments, not entertainment. That means they require intentionality, accountability, patience, and discernment. When you invest in something, you nurture it, you monitor it, you protect it, you water it when it's dry, and you celebrate when it grows. But when you see people as entertainment, you only keep them around as long as they make you feel good, look good, or laugh. As soon as correction comes or growth requires discomfort, you bounce. But that's immaturity, and too many people confuse emotional amusement with spiritual alignment. Some of you are frustrated right now because you keep planting yourself in the soil of people who were never assigned to your growth. You water them with your time, your energy, your vulnerability, but all you get back is silence, disrespect, or drama. That's because they were never meant to be your harvest. They were only meant to teach you what your value is not. Stop trying to build a future with people who don't even respect your present. Stop loaning your loyalty to people who pay you back with confusion. You are not a free trial for broken, bored, or insecure souls who are just trying to pass time. Think about a bank account. Every time you invest in it, you expect it to grow. You check your balance, you're aware of what's coming in and what's going out. And if the account starts draining your resources, you investigate. Why? Because you don't play with your money. Yet so many of us are careful with money, but careless with our hearts. We give our peace to people who only bring problems. We give our time to people who don't even value their own. We give second chances to people who treat us like options. Let me take it deeper. You are not created to babysit brokenness. You are not the rehab center for people who don't want to heal. Yes, you can love people. Yes, you can support them, but don't confuse emotional rescue with relational purpose. Some people are drowning, not because they can't swim, but because they refuse to get out of shallow water. And if you jump in to save them, they will pull you under with them. That's not loyalty, that's lunacy. When you understand that relationships are investments, you start doing what smart investors do. You assess risk, value, alignment, and returns. You don't keep investing in what only subtracts from you. You don't pour into what refuses to grow. You don't build with people who are okay living broken. You don't chase people who can't even walk in truth. And you definitely don't allow access to your heart without the cost of integrity and honor. Some people are distractions dressed as destiny. And if you're not careful, they will detour your assignment. They will dilute your vision. They will delay your healing. Relationships are the most powerful mirrors God gives you, not to see others, but to see yourself. Every person in your life is either sharpening you or shaping you. They are either planting seeds of wisdom or planting weeds of confusion. The question is, are you paying attention? You don't need 50 friends. You need 5 warriors who know how to pray for you when you're weak, correct you when you're wrong, and cheer for you when you win. You need people who don't just show up at your birthday party, but show up when you're broken. People who speak life over your vision, not drain it with doubt. People who can sit with your silence and not demand entertainment. People who love you not for your perfection, but for your process. You can't heal in the same environment that broke you. Some of you are stuck in cycles because you're trying to build with people who are committed to staying broken. You give, they take. You build, they break. You speak truth, they twist it. You bring peace, they bring chaos. That's not an investment, that's a trap. And the most expensive thing you can give the wrong person is your future. When you see relationships as investments, you protect your access. You stop giving your pearls to pigs, not because you're arrogant, but because you're aware. Awareness is protection. Discernment is defense. Boundaries are not selfish. They are sacred. Not everyone deserves front row seats to your journey. Some people belong in the balcony. Some people are assignments for a moment, not companions for a lifetime. And don't just evaluate who's in your life, evaluate why they're there. Some people love you as long as you're convenient. Some are only around when you're broken because your brokenness makes them feel better about their own. Some people celebrate you in private but compete with you in public. And then there are those rare ones who cover you, stretch you, confront you, and celebrate you. Those are your divine connections. Don't play with them. Invest in them. Water that soil. Fight for what's real. Your relationships are shaping your identity. Show me your circle, and I'll show you your future. Show me your 5 closest people, and I'll show you your spiritual ceiling. You don't rise above your company. You grow within it. And if everyone around you is stagnant, distracted, offended, or spiritually blind, you're not in a relationship, you're in a prison. So ask yourself, am I building with bricks or with broken glass? Am I walking with visionaries or with vultures? Am I loving people who sharpen my soul or entertaining those who just clap for my performance? Because at the end of the day, You are not just choosing friends, you're choosing the environment where your purpose will live or die. You said pain is a clue, not a curse. Expend TK Kawait and make it lengthy. That people will inspire from these words from daily life. Example, done at any ending sentence. ChatGPT said, pain is not your enemy. Pain is your alarm system. It is not a curse meant to destroy you. It is a clue pointing you toward healing, growth, and divine alignment. But most people spend their lives running from pain instead of learning from it. They numb it, avoid it, deny it, distract themselves from it, never realizing that what they call pain is often the voice of purpose trying to get their attention. Let me ask you something. What if your pain isn't punishment? What if it's preparation? What if the heartbreak wasn't sent to break you, but to wake you? What if the rejection wasn't there to push you down, but to push you forward? What if the betrayal wasn't meant to destroy your trust, but to rebuild your discernment? You see, pain is never random. It always has a message. And until you sit with it, learn from it, and allow it to teach you, you're cycling through the same wounds in different seasons. There's a reason your body screams when something's wrong. Pain is the body's signal that something is off, out of order, or being stretched beyond its limit. The same is true in your spirit. Emotional pain, relational pain, even spiritual pain, they are signs that something beneath the surface needs your attention. But instead of sitting still and listening, most people run. They jump into distractions, dive into toxic relationships, scroll endlessly, drink, smoke, or hide in fake positivity. But you can't heal what you won't confront. You can't grow past what you continue to avoid. Pain is not the enemy of purpose, it's the pathway to it. Think about a seed. It doesn't bloom in comfort. It breaks in the darkness, buried in pressure, surrounded by silence. But that breaking is not death. It's the beginning of life. The cracking of the shell is the very thing that allows the potential to escape. That's how your purpose works. Sometimes you've got to be broken to become open. Sometimes God allows pain not to hurt you, but to hollow you out so he can fill you with something greater. Let's take real life. Maybe you got fired. That pain stung. It made you feel like a failure. But later you found out that if you had stayed, you would have missed the business God was birthing inside you. Maybe someone walked away from you, broke your trust, shattered your heart. It made you feel unwanted. But later you realized their absence created room for clarity, peace, and a relationship that actually honors your worth. That's what pain does. It clears the stage for truth to enter. Every wound in your life has wisdom. Every scar carries a story. But if you spend your life hiding the scar, you'll never access the strength it gave you. Scars are proof that the pain came, but so did the healing. Stop being ashamed of your pain. Use it. Speak from it, build from it, teach from it. You are not weak because you were wounded. You are wise because you survived it. Let me go deeper. Some of you are trying to pray away what God is using to grow you. You keep saying, God, take the pain away. And he's saying, no, let it teach you. Because until you learn the lesson, you'll keep meeting the same pain in different people, different jobs, different seasons. You'll keep calling it bad luck, but it's really a missed lesson. God doesn't waste pain. The enemy brings chaos, but God brings construction out of it. Think of the gym. Growth doesn't come without resistance. You lift weights, it hurts, it burns. Your muscles tear, but that tearing is what makes you stronger. The pain is the proof of progress. Spiritually, it's no different. The betrayal, the delay, the disappointment, the anxiety, they're all resistance training for your soul. And every time you push through, you're building the kind of strength that can carry your calling. Pain also teaches empathy. Some of the most powerful, compassionate, wise people you'll ever meet are not the ones who've had an easy life. They are the ones who've bled in silence, cried in secret, and healed in faith. Their pain became their ministry. Their wounds became their wisdom. Their battles became their voice. You don't become powerful in the spotlight. You become powerful in the shadows, where the pain lives, where the growth happens, where the transformation begins. Do not despise the seasons that stretch you. They are the ones that shape you. Every painful season has a purpose behind it. Maybe your pain is pushing you into prayer. Maybe your pain is forcing you to develop discipline. Maybe your pain is awakening your vision, sharpening your character, burning away your pride. Whatever it is, don't ignore it. Lean into it. Study it. Let it transform you. Pain will introduce you to the real you, not the version that performs for others, not the version that hides behind success or titles, but the raw, honest, unfiltered you. Pain exposes what comfort conceals. It shows you your cracks, your fears, your idols, and your dependency on people. But it also reveals your strength, your resilience, your fight, your faith. And once you've looked pain in the face and survived it, you become dangerous. You stop fearing storms because you know what it's like to walk through fire and still breathe. Don't resent the pain. Respect it. It came to reveal what needed healing. It came to shift you into alignment. It came to end the illusion and introduce the truth. And if you honor it, if you learn from it, pain will become the greatest teacher you never asked for, but always needed. Pain is a clue, not a curse. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your alarm system. It is not a curse meant to destroy you. It is a clue pointing you toward healing, growth, and divine alignment. But most people spend their lives running from pain instead of learning from it. They numb it, avoid it, deny it, distract themselves from it, never realizing that what they call pain is often the voice of purpose trying to get their attention. Let me ask you something. What if your pain isn't punishment? What if it's preparation? What if the heartbreak wasn't sent to break you, but to wake you? What if the rejection wasn't there to push you down, but to push you forward? What if the betrayal wasn't meant to destroy your trust, but to rebuild your discernment? You see, pain is never random. It always has a message. And until you sit with it, learn from it, and allow it to teach you, you'll keep cycling through the same wounds in different seasons. There's a reason your body screams when something's wrong. Pain is the body's signal that something is off, out of order, or being stretched beyond its limit. The same is true in your spirit. Emotional pain, relational pain, even spiritual pain. They are signs that something beneath the surface needs your attention. But instead of sitting still and listening, most people run. They jump into distractions, dive into toxic relationships, scroll endlessly, drink, smoke, or hide in fake positivity. But you can't heal what you won't confront. You can't grow past what you continue to avoid. Pain is not the enemy of purpose. It's the pathway to it. Think about a seed. It doesn't bloom in comfort. It breaks in the darkness, buried in pressure, surrounded by silence. But that breaking is not death. It's the beginning of life. The cracking of the shell is the very thing that allows the potential to escape. That's how your purpose works. Sometimes you've got to be broken to become open. Sometimes God allows pain not to hurt you, but to hollow you out so He can fill you with something greater. Let's take real life. Maybe you got fired. That pain stung. It made you feel like a failure. But later you found out that if you had stayed, you would have missed the business God was birthing inside you. Maybe someone walked away from you, broke your trust, shattered your heart. It made you feel unwanted. But later you realized their absence created room for clarity, peace, and a relationship that actually honors your worth. That's what pain does. It clears the stage for truth to enter. Every wound in your life has wisdom. Every scar carries a story. But if you spend your life hiding the scar, you'll never access the strength it gave you. Scars are proof that the pain came, but so did the healing. Stop being ashamed of your pain. Use it, speak from it, build from it, teach from it. You are not weak because you were wounded. You are wise because you survived it. Let me go deeper. Some of you are trying to pray away what God is using to grow you. You keep saying, God, take the pain away. And He's saying, no, let it teach you. Because until you learn the lesson, you'll keep meeting the same pain in different people, different jobs, different seasons. You'll keep calling it bad luck, but it's really a missed lesson. God doesn't waste pain. The enemy brings chaos, but God brings construction out of it. Think of the gym. Growth doesn't come without resistance. You lift weights, it hurts, it burns, your muscles tear, but that tearing is what makes you stronger. The pain is the proof of progress. Spiritually, it's no different. The betrayal, the delay, the disappointment, the anxiety, they're all resistance training for your soul. And every time you push through, you're building the kind of strength that can carry your calling. Pain also teaches empathy. Some of the most powerful, compassionate, wise people you'll ever meet are not the ones who've had an easy life. They are the ones who've bled in silence, cried in secret, and healed in faith. Their pain became their ministry. Their wounds became their voice. You don't become powerful in the spotlight. You become powerful in the shadows. Where the pain lies, where the growth happens, where the transformation begins. Do not despise the seasons that stretch you. They are the ones that shape you. Every painful season has a purpose behind it. Maybe your pain is pushing you into prayer. Maybe your pain is forcing you to develop discipline. Maybe your pain is awakening your vision, sharpening your character, burning away your pride. Whatever it is, don't ignore it. Lean into it. Study it. Let it transform you. Pain will introduce you to the real you, not the version that performs for others, not the version that hides behind success or titles, but the raw, honest, unfiltered you. Pain exposes what comfort conceals. It shows you your cracks, your fears, your idols, and your dependency on people. But it also reveals your strength, your resilience, your fight, your faith. And once you've looked pain in the face and survived it, you become dangerous. You stop fearing storms because you know what it's like to walk through fire and still breathe. Don't resent the pain. Respect it. It came to reveal what needed healing. It came to shift you into alignment. It came to end the illusion and introduce the truth. And if you honor it, if you learn from it, pain will become the greatest teacher you never asked for, but always needed. Your legacy starts now, not later. Your legacy is not something you stumble into at the end of your life. It's something you're building right now, brick by brick, choice by choice, moment by moment. The mistake most people make is thinking legacy is only for the old, the rich, the famous, or the highly accomplished. They think legacy is about leaving money behind or having your name printed in a book. But the truth is, legacy is not what you leave behind when you die. It's what you leave behind every time you walk out of a room. Every conversation you have, every decision you make, every way you treat people, you are sowing seeds of your legacy. The way you show up for your family, that's legacy. The way you talk to strangers, that's legacy. The way you handle disappointment, how you navigate pressure, how you respond to injustice and criticism, that's legacy. And the tragedy is, most people never realize it until it's too late. They waste decades trying to build a name instead of building impact. They chase applause instead of purpose. They focus on success instead of significance. You don't have to be wealthy to leave a legacy. You have to be intentional. You don't need a big platform to change lives. You need a pure heart and a consistent life. Let me tell you something powerful. Someone is always watching you. A child is watching how you handle stress. A friend is watching how you forgive. A stranger is watching how you carry yourself when nobody says thank you. And the question is, what are they seeing? Are they seeing ego, pride, gossip, jealousy, or are they seeing humility, love, wisdom, and strength? Every small decision is a brick in the foundation of your future. And what you're building isn't just for you, it's for the generations that will follow. The way you speak can echo in your children. The way you work can inspire your coworkers. The way you live can convict the lazy and challenge the prideful. That's legacy. And the most powerful legacy is not built with titles, trophies, or trust funds. It's built with character. Let me give you a real life example. There's a janitor who's worked in the same high school for 30 years. He's not famous. He doesn't have millions. But every morning he shows up early. He greets the kids by name. He encourages them when they're down. He keeps that school spotless like it's the White House. Over the years, dozens of students have said, "That man believed in me when no one else did." They remember his words, his smile, his work ethic. That man built a legacy, and he didn't need a microphone or a stage. He just needed consistency. Your legacy isn't about what you do occasionally. It's about what you do consistently. And what you do consistently becomes what people remember about you. If you consistently tear others down, that's your legacy. If you consistently uplift, empower, and honor people, that's your legacy. So you have to ask yourself, what story is my life telling right now? What message is my presence preaching before I ever open my mouth? We live in a world where people are obsessed with going viral, being seen, and getting followers. But let me tell you something that most people learn too late. Going viral is not the same as being valuable. Your legacy is not in likes, it's in lives. It's not about how many people follow you. It's about how many people are better because they met you. When you die, they won't talk about your car, your clothes, or your vacation photos. They'll talk about how you made them feel, how you showed up when it mattered, how you lived with conviction. You have to start thinking long-term in a short-term world. Most people are building moments, not movements. They're addicted to now, and they forget that what you do today shapes your tomorrow. If you plant kindness today, you'll reap influence tomorrow. If you plant discipline today, you'll harvest results tomorrow. If you live with purpose today, you'll leave a trail tomorrow that others can follow, even in your absence. The truth is, legacy doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It begins the moment you decide to live on purpose. Every job you take, every friendship you keep, every goal you chase, put legacy in the center. Ask yourself, will this matter in 10 years? Will this decision elevate others or just serve my ego? That's how you live with eternity in mind. You don't have to be extraordinary to build a legacy. You just have to be faithful. Faithful with your time, faithful with your words, faithful with your energy. Because greatness is not in grand gestures. It's in the daily disciplines nobody sees. It's in the way you talk to your spouse when you're tired. It's in how you treat the waitress who got your order wrong. It's in the way you honor the promises you make to yourself when no one's watching. Some people leave inheritance, but others leave imprint. Be the one who leaves a mark, not just a memory. Be the one who lives so well that when your name is mentioned, people sit up straighter. Be the one who lives with such purpose that your presence becomes permission for others to rise higher. The legacy you're building isn't someday, it's this day, right now. In your habits, in your conversations, in your choices, you're either building a monument to your ego or a foundation for the generations to stand on. What you tolerate today, you pass down tomorrow. What you honor today, you amplify tomorrow. So live in such a way that the future will thank you, not just remember you. You don't get to choose whether you leave a legacy. You only get to choose what kind of legacy you leave. You can either be remembered for the problems you created or the problems you solved. You can be remembered for the wounds you left or the healing you brought. Your legacy isn't decided when your life ends. It's written every day you wake up and breathe. Live so that when you die, people will not just cry, they'll rise. Rise to honor what you stood for. Rise to continue what you started. Rise to live how you lived, bold, intentional, unshakable. Some people spend their lives making noise, but the great ones, they make impact. An impact is not about being loud, it's about being clear. Be clear in your values, be clear in your love, be clear in your discipline. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be purposeful. Dr. Myles Munroe once said, "The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose." Don't let your days slip by chasing popularity when you were born to build purpose. You weren't created to blend in. You were created to stand out, to stand firm, and to stand for something that echoes in eternity. People will forget what you said. They'll forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So the real question is not, what will I leave behind? The real question is, who will I lift while I'm still here? Because your success means nothing if it doesn't elevate someone else. Your platform means nothing if it doesn't serve people in pain. Your gift is not for you. It's to unlock someone else. Don't die full, die empty. Die having poured out everything that was placed in you. Day with your assignment complete. Let me remind you, legends are not born, they're built. Built in late nights, built in quiet prayers, built in secret tears, built in faithful service when nobody clapped for you. You don't need recognition to be remembered. You need conviction. Stay committed to who you are, even when the crowd walks away. Because the people who change the world are the ones who stayed loyal to their assignment, not their applause. You want to be great, then serve. You want to be remembered, then love. You want to be respected, then lead with humility. You want to leave a legacy, then live today like it matters in eternity. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth, said Muhammad Ali. Your rent is due every day. You don't get to check out just because life got hard. You don't get to disappear just because you were overlooked. You were made for this moment, this generation, this season, this fight. So don't shrink to fit into spaces you were called to transform. Don't play small when you've been anointed to stand tall. You are not here by accident. Your breath is proof that purpose still lives inside you. Walk like you carry the answer to someone's cry. Speak like your words are planting trees you'll never sit under. Work like heaven is watching, because it is. And when the dust settles and your name is whispered in rooms you never entered, let it be said, they didn't just live, they led. They didn't just work, they worshiped. They didn't just try, they triumphed. This is your charged day with memories, not regrets. Leave with impact, not excuses. Make your life so bold, so meaningful, so on fire with purpose that when your time is done, the world can't help but feel the heat you left behind. Because in the end, your money won't speak, your titles won't echo, but your values, your impact, your kindness, your faith, your fight, that will thunder across generations. Live now in such a way that your name becomes a sentence people use to describe courage. Be so consistent in your mission that people study your life to learn what conviction looks like. And above all, don't wait until it's too late to start becoming who you were created to be. The world is waiting. The clock is ticking. Your legacy is calling. Answer it.